characteristics from all across the entire personality spectrum. Under the shell of a tough exterior, there was a tender, servant heart and a fun, childlike personality and sense of humor. I will miss her sticking her tongue out at me in the faces that she would make when she didn't like my hair color or choice of cut. I can only imagine what she sang about this dew from heaven. If she had an opinion, you were going to hear it, whether you had asked for it or not. If she kept quiet with her words, her eyes could shout out volumes of what really was going on that inner dialogue. She was not always the easiest to get along with, at least to those who cared for her the most. However, she had her own love language with those who loved and adored her the most. Aunt Betty had a very soft spot in her heart for children, and she loved her 4 nephews as if they were her own. Her eyes lit up at the mention of their names: Dick, Jim, Tom, Mark. And when they showed up, she couldn't contain her smile. They could captivate her attention at all times. Even when you didn't think she was listening, she really was. Another special man in her life was my husband, Russ. She affectionately referred to him as her boyfriend. Even though she could hardly understand his southern accent, she would just smile at him, fully enamored with his southern charm. He would always kiss her on the cheek upon his arrival, and before every goodbye, you could almost see her spirit just levitate off the chair as if she were floating on cloud 9. It will not be the same coming back home to Rome and not being able to bring her a McDonald's hamburger and sweet tea or a delicious milkshake, always accompanied by a bouquet of beautifully bright balloons handpicked by her boyfriend, my husband. Aside from the special men in her life, my mom and Aunt Betty had a very special bond and shared many special moments. My mom always made sure that every need was met. Whether it was dressing her in beautiful velour sweatsuits or sparkly ruby red slippers that she wore around the hospital, she made sure that she was never without anything that her heart desired. My mom would bundle her up and take her on strolls through the city. She'd wheel her down and help her with her meals, take her to Mass and to the Rosary. They went on special outings, my mom, Dad, and Aunt Betty, and my Uncle Jim as well. And they would take her to Raspberry's Cafe for breakfast, or bring her a jelly-filled powdered donut. Her sweet tooth always remained intact. Then there were times she would request a particular meal that would probably make my stomach turn, like olive loaf or liverwurst. Yet she'd turn her nose up at a deliciously cooked crock pot meal. Again, things were always on Betty's terms. I want to take this moment to just thank my parents for their selfless love and affection, the time and care that they gave my Aunt Betty every single day over the last several years, despite what they were going through. You brought more love and joy and compassion, quality and light to her life. And although she may not have always said thank you, or acted like she wanted you around or appreciated your devotion, she did. And as for a family, so did we. You had to sacrifice so much, and I pray that your heart absolutely knows no regret. As a great niece, my snapshot into her life is small in comparison to the many years that she shared with all of you, and Bill, and her friends, and her other family members. Her life was full of travel volumes that told stories of cross-country trips, excursions around the world to the Swiss Alps, winters spent in Florida on the ski slopes, a fall booze trip to New Hampshire, trips to beautiful lighthouses and monuments, party shenanigans with the ski club, cocktail hour on the porch at the lake, and so much more. Both my Aunt Betty and Uncle Bill leave behind a legacy of service and very generous giving. They were both committed to their community and local causes, and they were definitely proud to be Romans. My Aunt Betty never knew a day where she didn't feel loved, adored, and completely cared for by her Billy. He was head over heels for his honey, all the days of his life. Everything he did for her, even after his passing. He lived and planned for the future, always with her in mind. She was his joy, and he was hers. Life was not always easy for my Aunt Betty, especially growing up in her younger days. And although there are many details that I will never have, I know it created a unique filter for her to view the world throughout her entire life. She loved in ways that only she could. She served in ways created just for her. And until the very end, she fought. She lived in a way that was designed just for her by our Heavenly Father, who knew her and planned the days of her life even before she was born. And I would like to end with this from 1 Thessalonians. Now we do not want you to be uninformed, brothers and sisters, about those who are asleep, so that you will not grieve like the rest who have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, so also we will believe that God will bring him those who have fallen asleep as Christians. And so we will always be with the Lord. Therefore, encourage one another